This is Paul from Twist and Shout, and welcome to Pre-Record Store Day Video 2017. I was just holding up our poster for this year's Record Store Day, which is designed by our very own Edward Hill. It's an amazing poster, kind of a riff on a famous Bob Marley poster. So we are 2 days away from Record Store Day 2017. This is Record Store Day number 10, and this will also be Twist and Shout's 29th anniversary. Very exciting. We're super excited. This is feeling like it's going to be the biggest one. I know we feel like that every year, but gosh, there is so much great stuff coming this year. So let's get right to it. I'm going to tell you some stuff. First, we have a big exclusive. KBCO, our friends at KBCO are making us the exclusive distributor of this Gary Clark Jr. 45 Record Store Day piece. This will be the only place you can get it, Twist and Shout. It's 2 songs by the great Gary Clark Jr. and it's really, it's one by Gary Clark Jr. and one by Kaleo, sorry, but it's still going to be a really cool piece, and we anticipate selling a lot of them. And so we'll also have a tent set up outside of Twist and Shout, and if it's your intention to just buy this KBCO single, you can just do that and not have to deal with the rest of Record Store Day. I suspect that won't be that many people, but it may be a few. Okay, next, there's 2 releases this year. This is the first time that Record Store Day, the organization itself, has put out a couple of releases, and they're both pretty cool ones. The first one is David Crosby and the Lighthouse Band, and it's a 10-inch, and it's got 4 songs, including Woodstock and Guinevere, so different versions, and that's a cool piece. And even more exciting to me, because a friend of mine, the owner of Fingerprints in Long Beach, was the producer on this, is Like a Drunk in a Midnight Choir, which is a tribute to the late Leonard Cohen by a bunch of indie-centric cool bands. You've got Terry Reid, the great Terry Reid, Glenn Hansard, Avi Buffalo, Joseph Arthur, Cherry Glazer, Matt Costa, and on and on. It's a really heartfelt and beautiful tribute to Leonard Cohen, who just died in the last year. So this is one to look out for. I think a lot of people are going to want that. Next, this is a lot of fun. I've heard a lot of people calling about this already. Soundtrack to Space Jam. Everybody's got to have this classic hip-hop soundtrack, and a really fun, partially animated movie. I've had probably more people ask about this than almost anything else already. Next, completely other end of this spectrum, although somewhat cartoony, The Acid Test. These are actual recordings from the acid tests in 1965 with Ken Kesey, the Merry Pranksters, and in the background you can hear the Grateful Dead playing too. A really important historical document, and something that I think a lot of people will be interested in. On the psychedelic tip, Mo, live in San Francisco. It's a double live album, has not been out elsewhere. Hot, that's a really cool piece. Here's a great one. I look forward to these every year. The Rough Guy does some really interesting stuff each year for Record Store Day, and this year they're doing 3 or 4, a Delta Blues one, but this one really caught my eye. The Psychedelic Years of Bollywood. Great cover, undoubtedly great music. Next, here's a great piece. This is Todd Rundgren's Utopia from 1973, live at the Fox Theater. You can see, look at that outfit he's wearing. Totally amazing live show. If you've never heard this or this particular version of his band, it is completely over-the-top, wild, largely instrumental prog music. It's him playing as heavy as he ever played. It's not light pop as he's done at other times in his career. This is a really cool show for prog music fans. Here's one of the great pieces of this record store day. This is one of the great concerts of all time. This is Bruce Springsteen at the Hammersmith Odeon in London in 1975. It's never been out on vinyl. The CD was available as part of the Born to Run box set, but this is really as good as Bruce ever got. One of the most astounding concerts. Peter Gabriel was in the audience and claims it was one of the 2 best concerts he ever saw, and it is astounding. I anticipate selling a lot of that. Very indie-friendly, modern band, Spoon, with a 3-song single. Cool. We always do really well with Spoon. I'm sure a lot of people will be in for that. Sublime, an absolutely unbelievable story of fan loyalty. It's hard to believe how Sublime has held in there, and their fans have held in there, and they are one of the most beloved bands, and people just really seek this band out. And you know, they're a hybrid of kind of reggae and punk. There it is, folks. Another Sublime piece. You're going to need that. Another great band from the 80s, Luna. You know, in that same pocket as Galaxy 500 and the Feelies. Great modern psych band. This is a reissue of their superb Penthouse record. I know a lot of people will want that. Doors are always very supportive of Record Store Day. John Densmore is a big supporter of Record Store Day. And this is the Doors live in San Francisco at the Matrix in 1967. Very interesting piece and a good recording, and there's just not that much stuff of the Doors that early. This is really worth getting. Air. We love Air. What an interesting band. Somewhere in between dance, rock, and Sublime something else. They're just hard to describe, but they're completely beautiful, and everything they do is interesting on a lovely swirl orange and yellow vinyl Air single. That'll do well. Big Star has traditionally done things for Record Store Day, and this is the complete third, their album Third. And Big Star, ever since Alex Chilton died tragically, their fame and their cult status seems to just keep growing. We always do real well with Big Star. Denver favorite, Denver band, very important to us, the Lumineers. Here's Song Seeds. I anticipate this will sell out very quick. Everything that the Lumineers do is big for us, so Denver rules. Cheap Trick, nice archival piece here. It's called The Epic Archive Volume 1. You know, they're kind of like, I don't know, the American modern Rolling Stones in a way. Their fans just think they're the greatest thing ever, and they might be right. Brother Ali, important hip-hop release. This is a triple version of his upcoming record. I'm sure there will be a bunch of people in for this, anti-con fans and, you know, kind of the modern, intelligent hip-hop tip of things. Here's a great one, a soundtrack from BBC, Doctor Who and the Pescatons. This has got a lot of Doctor Who sound effects, which always do well. These BBC produced sound effects, people really seem to collect those. Next, this one, I've had several people ask me about this. Bill Evans, Another Time. This is an unreleased live concert of Bill Evans, the Hilversum concert with Eddie Gomez and Jack DeJohnette. Doesn't get any better than that. I know we brought in a lot of this because we're always surprised at how well received the jazz releases on Record Store Day are. We tend to think they're not going to be, but then they are. And I just went on our friends KUVO yesterday to talk about some of the jazz releases coming out on Record Store Day. So we'll be looking for you jazz heads. Here's a heck of a piece. Iggy Pop, Post-Depression. This is live at the Royal Albert Hall. 3 LPs, beautiful package, you know, big, fat. This is going to be nice. And this is, you know, Iggy's kind of on his end of career victory lap, and it's been going on for a few years, but there are a few rockers who deserve it more than Iggy Pop. This is going to be a biggie. Townes Van Zandt live at Austin City Limits. This has never been out on vinyl. This is a really, really cool piece. Townes Van Zandt, like Nick Drake, like Fred Neil, one of these almost indescribable cult characters. People, record collectors of all stripes, seem to find their way to Townes Van Zandt. Here's a beautiful piece I'm really interested in myself. Jaco Pastorius, Truth, Liberty, and Soul. And this is a formerly uncirculated live show of his band that he had before he started kind of losing his mind. He had this band called the Word of Mouth Band that was just amazing. It had members of Weather Report. It had Randy Brecker and Don Elias and Peter Erskine, and instead of having a guitar player, they had a steel drum player. I saw this band at the Boulder Theater around this time, and it was astounding. This is going to be a really great piece. Jaco, possibly the greatest bass player ever. Our friends U2 with a picture disc. Red Hill Mining Town 2017 mix. Nice picture disc. Obviously, a lot of people are going to want this. And of course, what would Record Store Day be without the Grateful Dead? Here at Twist and Shout, this is a concert from Vancouver in 1966, July 29th, 1966. Formed until this year unreleased. Wonderful early primitive Grateful Dead, where they're playing their hearts out and doing their early repertoire, and this is going to be the fastest sellout, and we'll sell tons of it. So that is just barely scratching the surface of how much stuff. This is the biggest one. There have never been. Oh, I didn't even show you the Beatles single. I didn't show you. There's so many things. Yeah, there's a Beatles 45 of Strawberry Fields. There's just so much stuff. So the difference is, as far as you're concerned, we're going to open at 8 a.m. Instead of 10. So opening at 8 a.m. We're going to open early because it's supposed to maybe rain a little, and we want to get people in and not have them have to stand outside. And there's always such a big line, we want to start accommodating people as soon as possible. All the rules are going to apply as they always do. You can only buy one of everything. No holding, no buying over the phone, no buying for your friends. We'll be out there early. We'll have donuts. KBCO will be there with their tent. Oh, Rob Garza of Thievery Corporation will be doing a DJ set at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which should be incredibly cool. It's Record Store Day 2017. It's Record Store Day 10. It's Twist and Shout's 29th anniversary. We're so thrilled to still be here and to be representing our neighborhood. So make sure you get one of these awesome Edward Hill posters, and make sure you get in line early, and we really look forward to seeing you this year.